Hello, artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel, Under the Needle Quilting and Crafts. Forgive the massive mess behind me, but I just got my bins in. There was a leak. There's a leak in my ceiling, and I had to move everything so we could access the attic. And I just got my storage bins in so that I can get some stuff put away. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm here today because I got my sampler box for the month of, March. March is almost over. It's incredible. This year is flying by. Like, I don't even understand how fast this year is going. Okay, so this is what we have. We have Spring Revival, March 2025. This is the Sew Sampler subscription box. It is monthly. It is curated by Fat Quarter Shop, which is owned by Kimberly Jolly and her husband, Matt. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, Mr. Jolly. But they do a great job. This box is $29.95 a month plus tax and shipping. And each month you get the print fabric that you need to make a specific quilt pattern. And they give you that quilt pattern. And you also get a block of the month. There's always a block of the month in here. I am not following along with this one. So I believe it's Peaceful Baskets or something like that. Something like that. But yeah, I'm not really following along. But you get that, and then you get various other little notions and cute little stuff that they put in here. It's always a good value. I love the subscription. On the back of here, we usually have some kind of coupon. This is no exception. You get a free mini cutting mat with any $40 purchase. And it looks like our Peaceful Baskets quilt along just ended. And we are now starting with the flowering quilt along. That's going to start in next month's box. Jesus. So that'll start with the April box. It is going to be called the flowering quilt along. So in this box, we should have the finishing instructions for the one that just ended, the Peaceful Baskets. And they give you a little sample, a little preview of one of the blocks. And that's this right here. And they give you a little preview of their Fat Quarter Snowballs quilt pattern that is on their website. So let's see what we got. There's a lot in here. Quite a bit in here. So this is our little, this is our little thing here. This tells us what's in the box and how much it costs. Oh, I've been wanting one. Okay. All right. Okay. They do so well. Okay, I don't have a problem with anything that's in this box. So first and foremost, we have some iron cleaner. Now, I got one of these before in another subscription. I haven't used it because I'm really bad about cleaning my iron. But I do have one of these. I have not tried it out, but nothing wrong with getting a little iron cleaner. I believe with this, you get your iron hot. Then you put some of this little goo on there. And then you put some type of cloth down, you iron on the cloth, and everything comes off. Now, I also don't do a lot of applique and things like that, where my iron has an opportunity to get kind of dirty. See? So that's why I really haven't had an opportunity to use the one that I already have. So we've got some iron cleaner. This is valued at $6.48. We have in here an Ulfa 45 millimeter endurance blade. These supposedly last longer than regular blades, but I would never know because I don't track how much fabric I cut, and I don't know anyone who does. So, I mean, unless you are work at a quilt shop and you're just cutting like yardage, and you could maybe see how many times. I don't know how you would count that, to be honest. But apparently they last longer. But again, I would never know. I only change my blade when it stops working. And then I put a new blade in. And Sometimes I don't cut fabric for a very long time. So like I might have 2 or 3 quilts that I might have all cut up and start sewing them. I have no idea how long the blade lasts. I normally buy the cheapest blade I can that cuts efficiently, and then I change it as needed. But I love getting these little Olfa endurance blades. So I'm definitely going to use this. I tend to use these first, then the regular Olfa blades, then the cheapy ones that I got off of Amazon. So this is valued at $14.98, which is why I don't buy them. Because for $14.98, I can get like a pack of 5 cheap ones that probably last just as long as this one blade. But again, I don't know because I don't track and I don't know anyone who does. So we have a Fat Quarter Shop exclusive item in here. Uh-oh, accidentally turned mine on. It's a little mini vacuum. Oh shoot, how do I turn this thing off? I don't even know how I turned it on. Oh, it's got a little power button on there. So it's a little vacuum. So let's see the materials here. This mini vacuum makes it a breeze to keep your sewing spaces neat and tidy. I don't know anything about neat and tidy. There's nothing neat and tidy about my sewing space. But when I went to Quilt Retreat, not in 2024, but at the end of 2023, I went to a quilting retreat, and this was one of the door prizes, and I wanted it so bad, and I did not win it. But look, I got one, and it's pink. It says glided over cutting mats, ironing boards, and more to whisk away lint, dust, threads, and fabric bits. With its nifty accessories and comfy grip, this vacuum is a clean and clear winner. So it has a USB charging cable, a detachable nozzle, and a cleaning brush. So here's our little USB cable to charge it. Here's our little nozzle, which I guess we just push it in right here. And then here's our little cleaning brush. For me, I'd probably only use this when I am cutting fabric or squaring up. I could see, because you get all that lint and stuff that's around, I could see using it for that. So I'm super excited to get this. I would never buy it, but I'm happy to have it. And this is valued at $8.98. So $15.25. So the box is already paid for itself, and we have not seen the pattern or the fabric yet. So we have $15 for the endurance blade. We have $9 for the little mini vacuum. That takes us to $24. And then $6.48 for the iron cleaner. So that takes us to $30 and change already before we've even opened the fabric. And that is why I love Sew Sampler, and I will continue to get it for as long as I can afford to do so. All right, let's look at our pattern. I am usually not the biggest fan of the pattern usually, only because the way that I hoard fabric, you can see how I hoard fabric back there. I hoard patterns as well, free and paid. And usually there's going to be another pattern that I prefer. And it's not that I don't like the pattern. It's just that there are other patterns that I like better. And that's going to be the case with this one. I have never done a friendship star quilt. That's clearly what this is. It's called the waterfall quilt pattern. I do love the dimension and the way they use the half square triangles and the friendship blocks to kind of make that kind of cascade. I do like that. This makes a 56.5 by 68.5 inch quilt. You will need 3 1/8 yards for background and border and 5/8 yards for your binding, and then an additional 3 3/4 yards for backing. We have the last installments of our Peaceful Baskets quilt along. Here's our last basket and our finishing instructions. I'll just put these over here. And our fabric this month is called New Beginnings by Sandy Gervais for Riley Blake. And I actually really like this color palette. We have 10 fat quarters in here, which is insane. This is the price of this right here would be the price of the box without anything else. And then if you just add everything else, that's more than the cost. Like, so this is double. This is double. The value of this box is double what we paid for it. We were already at $30. We add the pattern, we're at $40. We add the fabric, we're at $70. It's a $30 box. I love me some Sew Sampler. I'm not going to open this up because who knows when I'm going to get a chance to use it, because I've got quite the collection back there. But I do love this. I do like Sandy Gervais. I do like her, or Gervais. I don't know if she says the S or not. I'm going to go with Gervais because I'm going to assume it's French or something, and they wouldn't pronounce the S. But I do love this. It's nice and summery, nice summer kind of muted summer pastels. I think it's beautiful. I love the kind of minty greens, it's kind of like a minty gray green almost. Love that. And I love this kind of peachy pink we've got going on. This signature print up here. I love this print. I like this print a lot. And you gotta love a stripe, especially a nice diagonal stripe. This will make a great binding on a smaller project. I can't see the other prints, but I see some geometrics and some florals. So it's a well-balanced line. I see all over prints. I see, of course, the stripe, and then I see prints where things seem to be a bit more spaced out. So it looks really well balanced as far as color and type of print. So you wouldn't necessarily have to add blenders to this. Some collections are so busy, all the fabrics are so busy that you have to pull in blenders from your stash or from another collection or something like that to kind of tone down the prints. But this is theoretically a bundle that you could use on its own without bringing in other fabrics, because you need a place to rest your eye. And it looks like this fabric allows for that. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but this yellow floral here, you can see how that's nice and spaced out. You can kind of see what this print here is, this kind of blue-green print with the geometrics. I think this looks like a really well-balanced line. And like I said, I love a well-balanced line because you can use it on its own without having to find other fabrics to mix in. So I like this one. So let's recap our $70 box that we got for 30 bucks. So again, we have our iron cleaner. You heat up your iron, you pop this stuff on there. Or actually no, you put it on the towel. So you put a towel down, of course not a terry cloth towel because that'll burn, but put down some kind of like scrap cotton or something like that. And you put some of this goo on there. You heat up your iron, and then you run the hot iron over the goo, and then you have a clean iron. Boom. So we got that. We have our Olfa Endurance Blade, 45 millimeter. We have our absolutely adorable little mini vacuum. Again, I never would have bought this. I never would have paid money for this, but I've wanted one ever since I saw that it existed. I've wanted one, but I refuse to buy it because even I have limits about what I can and cannot allow myself to purchase. And a mini vacuum that I absolutely do not need is not something that I would allow myself to purchase. So I am over the moon. I'm probably more happy about this than I am about the fabric itself. Like, it's the little things. It's the little things, right? We have the last installment of our Peaceful Baskets quilt and our finishing instructions to finish it off. One thing that's cool about this, even though I didn't do the pattern, I keep the finishing instructions because you can use them for any project, right? You could theoretically make, because we made what? We made big blocks for this one. We made 17.5-inch blocks, but were they all that big? I guess they were. I just don't remember. I guess they were big, larger blocks this year for this quilt along. But you can modify the instructions, things like that, to fit other things. So even when, like I said, even when I don't do the quilt along, I don't keep these, I will keep the finishing instructions because you can use them for other projects. So love that. We have our waterfall quilt pattern. I do like this pattern. I love the movement. It's very whimsical. And like I said, I love how the directionality, like everything's kind of pointing this way. And I guess that's why it's called waterfall. We've got easy construction here. We're making some large half square triangles, and then we make two for each block. You're using 2 large half square triangles and 8 small half square triangles. And then you've got some plain squares. You've got some just squares, 8 squares. So 2 large half square triangles, 8 small half square triangles, and 8 squares. And you put that together to get this block. So this is beginner friendly. I do appreciate that about them as well. Even though I'm not a beginner quilter, I do appreciate the fact that a lot of people who get this box are beginners. And I do like the fact that the patterns that they give us are beginner friendly, but still fun for a more experienced quilter. Love that. And last but not least, we have our fabric, New Beginnings by Sandy Gervais for Riley Blake. Again, I really like this fabric, especially this print here. This main fabric, this main floral, I absolutely adore. And the stripe, I absolutely adore. It makes sense to me why they put this on the front and this on the back, because they're probably 2 of the most juicy prints in the line. But I also think I really am gonna like this this geometric right here. I like that so much. So another solid box. I mean, they're just knocking it out the park. I don't think I've gotten a Sew Sampler box I wasn't happy with since 2020. And we know what was going on in 2020, right? So again, another solid box. Love it. No complaints, no suggestions, no notes. This is a perfect box. It's absolutely great. Again, we have a preview of our next sew along called Flowering. So we'll be making flowers. I can tell you right now, I will not be participating because the last thing Shonda needs is another project. Especially not one that's going to take a year. Absolutely not. I'm one of those, I kind of got to get it when the getting is good. So like when I'm motivated to work on something, I kind of need to do it right then. And if I don't, it'll kind of get pushed to the wayside. So, yeah. And that's what happens with me every time when I do a block of the month, because I'll be so excited. That first block will come and I'll do it. That second block will come and I'll do it. And that third block will come and I'm like, yeah. And then after that, it's like, well, I just might as well just let 2 or 3 of them pile up. And then, and then next thing I know, I got a stack of them. So maybe it's just me, but my brain doesn't work that way. I want to be able to cut all my fabric at the same time. I know for some people that might really work, especially, depending on how your brain works, depending on how your mind works, depending on how much space you have, working one block at a time might be really beneficial for some people. Like if you just got if this is all you do, right? If you just get your Sew Sampler every month and each month you do the quilt that's in the Sew Sampler box, or you use the fabric in the Sew Sampler box to make another something, right? And then you did the one block and that's all you got going on. That could really work for you. And honestly, I feel like that's how this box is designed to be. But you know, this overconsumption core, you know, with the overconsumption, but theoretically, if you were a newer quilter, you could just pay your $30 a month and get this box. And you would have a quilt to work on every month, or you would have fabric to use to make something else that you'd want to make. And you would have a block of the month block that you could use from your own stash. Or theoretically, you could, I don't know what I was about to say something, but it made absolutely no sense. But yeah, it's just a really versatile product. I really, really enjoy it. It's like a gift to myself every month. And to be honest, I just can't believe the March box is here. I cannot believe that it is the end of March. It is March 24th, which is insane. It's going to be summer in 2 minutes. And you know, once summer comes, back to school. Once back to school comes, Christmas. So I feel like 2025 is flying by, which is a good thing, you know, because last year dragged. Last year, it didn't seem like 2024 would ever end, like ever. And 25 is just zooming along. So we shall see, ladies and gents. That is the box. That is all I have for you today. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video.